YouTube tarot reader, Lisa Lee, has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Hi, I'm Lisa, a practicing liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience in helping people find guidance through the cards. On this channel I talk about all sorts of witchy, spooky and mystical things that interest me and I hope will interest you too. Welcome to Beyond Authentic Witchcraft. Oh my god. Sorry everybody. I muted it and then immediately went, remember to mute, remember to unmute before you go live. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so stupid of me. Sorry everybody. That is the error exists between equipment and chair. Yes. Right. Let me restart. Pretend that never happened. Okay. Pretend that never happened. So good evening, everybody. It is. I can't believe I did that. That's so embarrassing. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Right. It is Spooktober. Let's play that again. It's not like anybody's watching or anything. It's not like this is on the YouTubes. But anyway, good evening. So what is Spooktober? What I was saying was that Spooktober on this channel, I've got 5 decks, okay, that are spooky themed coming your way over the next 5 Mondays. So they are different theme decks, all with a Halloween or a spooky kind of twist. And they are decks that I don't genuinely use on the streams, because it's, you know, you can only really use these effectively during Spooktober, spooky season. So those are all coming up for you each and every Monday Monday daytime throughout the week, right? Those are coming up. Everybody's laughing. It's because I was on the members only stream, right? And everything was fine and it was great. And I was talking about me Santa Carla t-shirt. Hang on, let's have a look. I'll show you, right? My Santa Carla t-shirt, murder capital of the world. Yeah. So if anybody apart from Necker and Neil, if you know what film that is from, then leave it in the comments, because that's a fun thing to do, right? Let me know if what film you think that is from. Santa Carla, murder capital of the world. And I am wearing the what are these called? Dungaree type things, even though it's a dress, because it's a whole like sort of Michael Myers-esque thing. So I'm getting into Spooktober, right? So I was on the members only live just before this. Members only, you can join the membership just up there. And we were chatting and it was all going good. And I was like, I'm just going to nip for a wee before I come on the stream. So I muted it just in case, as I was moving about, it was noisy. So I'll play that 2-minute intro, because that way YouTube sends out the fact that we're live. And it also means I can run for a quick wee. So I did all of that and then I forgot to turn it back on. I know, right? Like an idiot. But you also missed me arguing with my Alexa device, trying to turn the back room light down because it was too bright. So yeah, you missed all of that fun and excitement that was happening. But so Spooktober, 5 Mondays. 3 of the videos are up now live for members. So if you want to see those in advance, you can go up there and look at them. There are 5 decks in total that I've decided to do for October. They are really interesting spooky decks. Okay, so we've got there's the Halloween Oracle, the Macabre Tarot. I've got the Samhain Season of the Witch Samhain Oracle one, which is an oracle. So there's 2 Oracle decks and 3 tarot decks. I've also got the Trick or Treat Tarot deck and the Hocus Pocus Tarot deck. Okay, so these are all decks that I have been dying to use, and I have bought them for a period of time and I haven't used them. With the exception of the Macabre deck, I think I might have actually used that once on a members live, or at least flick through it. So all of those decks are decks. Good evening, Holland. All of those decks are decks that I haven't used, and they're all I am looking at for the first time as a reader live with all of you doing a review. And each video, I pull some decks to do an example spread that's in the books to see what the spreads are like. And I've got to say, right, the first time I was like, oh, this is a bit spooky, because I can take this reading, and I didn't ask a question, and I didn't cleanse, and I didn't bring in Wispy and all of that. I just picked some random cards for the spread that was in the book, and it hit home. And then the second video, it happened again. In the third video, I was like, right, this is just, I know this is going to be a reading that apparently I need to hear. So yeah, those videos are up for members. There's 2 more to come, which I'll be filming this week. We've also got some spells coming, some actual witchy shit coming. Yes, there's going to be a couple of spell videos this month going up as well. And we've got, hopefully by the end of the month, Holland, one of our lovely moderators, will be joining us in the podcast. So we're going to bring on Holland as a guest. If you follow the podcast, me and Neil, it's called the Beyond Authentic Witchcraft Podcast. It's a meandering magical chat, basically, where we just chit chat about magical shit, and you can get to listen in and join us and listen to 2 old friends chat about stuff. So we've got Holland coming on this month, but we might also be doing a bonus mini podcast, mini video episode where we talk about witchy films, our favorite witchy films. Yes. Which means I've also got to watch The Craft 2, which I don't really want to, but Neil's challenged me to watch it, so I think I'm going to have to finally give in and watch The Craft 2. I don't want to. I know it's going to be a piece of shit, but I said I'll watch it. I've tried really hard to put him off, right? Neil suggested this for like the last 7 or 8 months. This has been on the list of podcast subjects and episodes that we want to do. And he keeps saying, should we do the witchy one? And I'm like, no, no, let's do this instead. not now, because I don't want to watch The Craft 2, because I like The Craft, and if it's really bad, I'll feel really bad, and it will make me not feel really good. Like Hocus Pocus 2, it was all right. I wish they didn't do it. The idea of a sequel is better than the actual thing. And I think that's going to be the same with The Craft 2. But we'll see. I'll keep an open mind. And like Lost Boys 2 and 3, and Crow 2 and 3 and 4. 5? Crow 5? Is that right? Yeah. But anyway, don't tell me that. Reese, stop it. You're supposed to say, no, Lisa, it's going to be an amazing experience. It's completely different to the original film, but it's opening up a whole new witchcraft era for a whole new generation of witches. Not that it's awful. Thanks. Anyway, let's see. Let's see who's. And I'm still fighting the bloody COVID, so be careful. Be careful. I'm not courageous. I'm not contagious anymore, so that's good. Sudeshni, good evening to Sudeshni. Good evening to Ed. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Wolf Boyo. Hey everyone, just a word of warning: if you have a pet, be really careful. Grass seed pollen is high, and one dog has had surgery and left with one lung because of it. Oh, bless. But yeah, that's very true. Be careful. Reese, you have got to work out, so this will be your backing music. Oh, you're at the gym. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you. 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 Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I know, right, Ed? Can't take me anywhere. That is very true. Right then, good evening to Holland as well. Good evening to MP. I hope you're not one of our MPs, MP, if that makes sense, members of parliament. You never knew a sequel that worked. Oh, sequels that worked. Superman 2 was very good. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show, is technically a sequel to Buffy the film, because that was shit. Halloween 2. Both Halloween 2s, actually. The Rob Zombie one, I think, is better than the original Rob Zombie. But Halloween 2, the original, is also very, very, very good. I would say just slightly under the first film, but still very, very, very good. Friday the 13th Part 2 is good. That's where we see Jason for the first time, not as a weird waterlogged zombie baby. Evil Dead 2 is better than Evil Dead 1. Fight me on it. I shouldn't have said that. This is where me and Neil fall out forever. The Charmed remake, yeah, well, we had this whole discussion. Was it on? Oh, I was talking to Neil and Lorna about Charmed and things, and Buffet and Buffet things. Hi, Rabina, my darling. I hope you are well. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, is that the Leatherface one? Because Texas Chainsaw, I mean, they're just low budget, aren't they? Final Destination 2, good example as well. Put them in the chat. If you're watching this live, sequels, part 2s of franchise or trilogies or whatever's, put them in. Aliens, that was very good as well. That was very good, actually. I loved Aliens. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the gay one. Yeah, is that the gay one? I think that's the gayest of them, isn't it? One of them's like the class is the gay one because half of the actors came out after the film and it's got lots of gay subtext, and they're in the leather bar. You watched the old Exorcist film last night. It's currently the disc is in the PS4 in the lounge, ready to play. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it because we want to go and watch. Yes! Ka-chink. Thank you, Neil. I totally agree. I totally agree. One of the best sequels. More money, reworked. It's kind of a requel, isn't it? Because it's kind of a reboot, but a sequel, but a thing. Yeah, I love it. You're banned from watching horror films like Halloween, Friday. Why are you banned? Why are you banned? The Psych Ward. Oh, Nightmare 2's the gay one. Okay, I did wonder because they got the leather bar and everything, isn't there? Can you tell we like our horror films here? And we get to talk about it for the whole of October. We're not. We're going on with some tarot. I've been trying to sip my coffee. Well, it doesn't have to be horror films, Patricia. Like a lot of people think Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1. The first thing I said was Superman 2, better than as good, or if not better than Superman 1. Is Superman 2 the Robot Woman one, or is that Superman? Well, no, because 4 is the nuclear weapons, nuclear vessels. Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, one of, if not the best Star Trek movie ever. Absolutely, Star Trek 2. But yes, anyway, right, let's crack on with some tarot readings and things. So how would you get a reading on this channel then? There are 2 ways to do it. Back to the Future 2, again, good film, not horror, good film, good, yeah, good call. I'm trying to think of anything in the romantic genre, but I can't think of any sequels like The Notebook 2. Okay, well, that's good then. Don't watch them. I tell you what would be good scary films, or not good scary films, but good films for you to watch at Halloween season. How about things like Back to the Future? That would be, I love the Back to the Future film. Superman films as well. Got to recommend them. What was I saying? Godfather trilogy. What was the Damon films called? The Oracle. No, it's not the Oracle. The Omen films. Yes, no, they're scary. I can't watch those. Spooky films. Hellraiser 2 is probably up there with, I think Hellraiser 1 is a perfect horror film. Hellraiser 2, Leprechaun, SETI. Casper's good. I like Casper. All the Casper films have been quite good, actually. Scooby-Doo, you've got to watch the WWE Scooby-Doo films. They're so bad, they're good. Yeah, love those. Anyway, let's crack on with some tarot. So how do you get a reading on this channel? It's dead simple. There are 2 ways. The first way to do it is to send a super chat. Super chats are now officially open on the channel. We've finally passed that threshold on the YouTube algorithm, so you can send a super chat any amount. Just put your question in, start it with the word question, send it as a super chat. It automatically, on my system, this is what I have been waiting for fucking ages, right? It automatically stars it and brings it onto StreamYard in a different section of it where I can see it instantly. It's amazing, right? So that is the easiest way. Any amount, just send it as a super chat. It can be $1, it can be $20, whatever. If you want to guarantee your reading is next, send it as a super chat. Fantastic. If we get lots of those, it doesn't have to be £4 now. It can be any amount at all. It's the $1. I think it's like a stack of notes or something. Down in the comment thing, just click that. Do the thing, right? Send that any amount, we'll add it on the list. We'll go through that list. If that list builds up, we'll just keep going through them until we get to the end of the super chats, and then we'll do the free readings, right? Free reading, you can get a free reading. You're always going to be able to get free readings on this channel. You do that by literally waiting till I open a round. Once all the super chats are done, we'll open a round, and then you put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question, and that's it. I will then grab one of those at random per round. Okay, if you want to guarantee it, do a super chat. If you want to put it in with everyone else and hope it gets pulled out of the bucket, hat it's not a bucket, then that's the way to get one for absolutely free. And we'll do that all the way between now and 9 p.m. tonight UK time. So it's about an hour and 40 minutes. Normally we get 8, 9, 10 done in an evening, and we will keep doing that throughout the night, as I say, until 9 p.m. Just in case you missed that, I've even got a handy dandy little video. Are you ready? Indeed, what will your card say? So come on then, let's get the housekeeping over and done with. And a round is going to open right now. So if you want to enter a round, if you would like a question, put it into the live chat right now, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of those at random. If you want to guarantee it, you can send a super chat right now as well. Before we go any further, though, I do have to say that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you are looking for support in those areas, no shame, no shade, please do seek out professionals in those areas. Okay, that is always my advice. If you need professional support in any of those areas, seek out a professional. I've got some skills, some qualities, some qualifications, but I am not a counselor, I am not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. I wish I was all of those things because they get paid the mega bucks, but I'm not. I'm just Joe Blogs on the interwebs doing tarot. So if you would like more information about any of the terms of support, any sources of support, Google is your friend in your area. I know we've got a worldwide audience, so if you're looking for trustworthy medical support, I can't give you that information. I can't signpost you because you could be anywhere in the world. The same with counseling, lawyers, everything else. Google it, look at the recommendations, be your own advocate. Okay, and yeah, if you want a reading, go ahead and pop them in the chat now, send a super chat, and again, we'll get to one of those straight after this, just in case in my blurb you forgot what you need to do. Okay, then let's just have a little look at the system. Right, so we've had no super chats come in, so we're going to grab the first reading tonight. Will be from the freebie rounds. So also, by the way, if you aren't selected for this reading, if yours isn't this reading, do me a favor, copy and select and copy your question, get ready for it, and then when we go, we're opening a round again, stick it in the chat then, and that will get your question in for the next round. You have to do that every time I open a round, because I can't go back, unfortunately, in the live chat on the system that I use. I can't go back to see it. Right then, so we are going to grab one of these at random. I am scrolling up and down, and we're going with this one here. MA, let me just give that a star. Come over to the other screen. There we go. So question, will I quit my job in 2023 and travel? Good question, Ma. Let's have a look at that for you. So then, Wispy, good evening for the first time. Wispy is the air elemental, the dragon, the servitor tulpa that I use to enable me to contact the Akashic records, get the information from the cards, blah, 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 blah. There's lots of information about what Wispy is, how he was created, and more about servitors, tulpas, and egregores on a podcast feed. So if you click on the channel, go to the podcast feed, look for the one that says tulpas, egregores, servitors in the chat. You'll find it very easily. That's all about my dragons. Okay, so the deck we're using first of all tonight is the Poppy Palin Everyday Enchantment deck. This is what the box looks like. It's a wonderful, wonderful deck, a nice oversized deck, very bright, very colorful, and is arguably one of her best creations that she did. Unfortunately, she passed not long after creating it, but yes, so we're going to use this deck to start with tonight. As always, cleanse the space, bring in the card cam, and let me, oh no, there we go, let me swap cameras. There we are. So then Wispy, Ma would like to know, will they quit the job this year and travel? That's what we want to know. Will Ma quit their job this year and travel? Let's just see if we can. Nope, hang on. There we go. There we go. Perfect position. So then, will Ma quit their job this year and travel? Don't forget, you can always send a super chat in between rounds. If you want to guarantee your reading is next, feel free to send that away. You can do that at any time. You don't have to wait for a round to open. It automatically comes through to my system, and then it means your reading will be next. Right, let me see if I can do this blooming riffle shuffle with these cards. I should be able to because they're big. Yes, look at that. That's like an actual shuffle. Right then, each reading lasts about 6 or 7 minutes, so keep an eye out. The next round will be opening very soon. So then, Ma, let's have a look. Will you quit your job in 2023? The past. Oh, Queen of Coins. So money coming up straight away there. Look. The present. We've got Temperance reversed. Interesting. And then the future card for you, the 9 of Wands. So the answer is, I don't think you will this year. Okay, not in the next few months. Reason I'm saying that is because we've got the Queen of Coins coming in your recent past. Okay, now you can see here she's happy. She is selling her wares at a farmer's market. It's a really lovely deck. You can see the goat in the background. This is a really warm, loving Queen of Coins. Okay, so she is generating that wealth. So this is telling me that you've recently either not so much moved careers, but the career that you're in is all about, for you, it's about enjoyment as well as the financial benefit. Okay, so yes, you are earning, and it's really important that you're earning, and it's really important that you've got the sort of the money coming in, but I don't think it's enough to warrant kind of traveling yet. You haven't got enough. The king is higher. Arguably a lot of the majors would have been higher as well. So this is still saying that you still got to work. So even though you're in the queen position, so you're quite high up, it's not enough for you to go traveling yet. There's still more money. You haven't got enough of a nest egg. You haven't got enough behind you at the moment. Then we've got Temperance, and we've got Temperance reverse. Now you can see these two people have had a fallout. This person is coming along and is the peacekeeper. They have got these blends. Look, we've got a strawberry juice, we've got an apple juice, you've got the apples and all the fruit here. So they've got their smoothies, everything's happening. They are ready to calm and make peace between these two people. Okay, for me, this coming up in this position is talking about, I think you need to make peace and hold on with the idea of traveling and things, because you're not quite there yet. The standard Temperance card you can see is that angel using the different elements and kind of coming up with a compromise situation. And this is saying at the moment, it's not time to do that, my friend. At this time, you've got to just keep plowing along. This is not the time for those changes. This is not the time this is not the time to make those decisions, even though it's like you're wanting this is where you have to compromise to keep going. In other words, basically, I'm basically, right, you haven't got enough money yet. So even though you want to go off and compromise and make these changes and find a way through and find a way for it to succeed, this is not the right time to do it yet. Okay, there's still other things here that you need to concentrate on. This is not the moment to kind of be finding that way at all costs. And then we've got the 9 of Wands coming up. So Wands for me is about security, confidence. And you can see here that this person is injured. They've got a oh my god, what's that called? It's not a stick, a crutch. Good lord. They've got a crutch, they've got an injured arm, and they're walking through here. And these people, are they bullying? Are they having a go? What is the story on this card? But this person is standing up to the any negativity, right? So this is saying in the future, like I would say next year, this isn't the right time yet. Next year, you need to carry on whatever this job career thing is. You need to carry on, even though it might not be filling you with joy and wonderment. You need to carry on for the time being, because there will come this moment, there will come this 9 of Wands where you pick up and you say, do you know what, I just need to go off and do this now. That isn't there yet. We're not at this moment yet. Okay, so your confidence isn't high enough for you to just go off, because what happens when you have these people that are trying to take your spark, to take your shine, right? To quote Dr. Sleep or The Shining, technically to quote Dr. Sleep. But these people around you want to take your shine. They want to take that essence away from you. And this is your future self. You're not there yet. Okay. So that is literally, Mark, that is what the cards are saying. This is, it could happen a bit further down the line, but this is not, you are not there yet, my friend. So I think you've got to persevere in this job for the time being. The travel will come, but not yet. Okay. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. So stick around for the time being. I think it will. I think you will get there. It's just not the right time yet. Okay, hopefully that helps, my darling. Right, go ahead, everybody. If you are wanting a reading, please do the YouTubey things, by the way. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload a video. So do all of those YouTubey things. And yeah, go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. I will grab one of those at random for a freebie reading. Don't forget, if you want to guarantee your reading is next, you can go straight to send a super chat and that will come straight through and that will guarantee your reading is next. Okay, we're going to stay on the card cam for the time being, and I am just double checking in the back room of YouTube. Oh gosh, sorry everybody, slow mode was not on. Sometimes I forget because, you know, Fibro. Slow mode and sub mode are now back on as they should be. So if you would like a reading, you do have to be subscribed to the channel, and also you do also can also comment only once every 20 seconds. By the way, everyone, certain words are banned on YouTube on this channel. So if the Nightbot kicks off and says, please don't use these particular words, then that is the reason why, because those words are banned. And also, if you use lots and lots and lots of emojis in the chat, then again, Nightbot might have a few issues with that as well. Right, let me just have a little look on the back end of the system. Let me see if the if super chats have come in. Nope, again, we've got no super chats, so we're going to go to the freebie ones first, and we are randomly going to select one of these at random. Don't forget, you need to put your question in. Scrolling up and down, you need to put your question in on the live every time we open a new round to get a reading. Okay, Vrinda Sharma, let me have a look here at your question. Question, how will I be able to overcome my erratic mental health and control my extreme emotions and thoughts? Will I ever be able to do that? Right, I will answer this as a general question. This is not going to be medical advice, okay? My advice to you would be, my darling, depending on where in the world you are, but my advice would be go and see a GP, go and see a doctor, explain your mental health issues that you're having. If you're having emotional issues and things like that, we've just been talking about this, funnily enough, in our members chat. I have been on medication to help with my mental health for the last 30, how old am I now? 47. So the last nearly 30 years, actually, nearly 30 years. And that has helped. And that medication has taken various forms and doses and different types over the years. And I have no shame in talking about it, because I also have an issue with my pancreas that produces weird and wonderful chemicals. That issue is called diabetes. I take a tablet to help with that. And I also take a tablet to help with my mental health. So again, go and see a professional, go and see a GP. If it's right for you, that is the best thing that you can do. Okay, having said that, I will read for you to see if there are things that can help balance your life and your energies. Okay, this is not medical advice. This has nothing to do with your mental health. So first of all, as we always say on this channel, the mundane before the magical. Okay, my darling. So go and get some medical advice first, and then look at the rest of it. But we'll have a look and see what might be coming up as a general reading for you. Okay, so Wispy, Brinda Sharma has asked a medical question, but instead of that, we are going to look at a general reading for Vrinda. Okay, a general reading, past, present, and future. What are the energies around Vrinda right now? What can Vrinda do? What is, you know, how are things looking generally as a general reading? That's what we're going to look at for you, Vrinda. Okay, my friend. And again, please go and speak to a GP in your area and get some medical advice. Okay, so that's your drop. Let's have a look for you. Hang on. We've got a super chat come in. I will be doing that next. Sudeshni, your question will be up next, my darling. So let me just have a look then. We've got the Knight of Coins coming up in the recent past. We've got the Page of Cups coming up in the present, and we've got the Sun. I love this card. This reminds me of when I lived in these back-to-back houses in Bradford. They look just like this, and the Asian community in Bradford, the thriving Muslim community, I would see women in these wonderful colored saris and hijabs and everything all day, every day. It was the most wonderful, bright and bustling community. Anyway, so in the past position, the Knight of Coins. Coins is obviously money, career, finances. And this is saying that in the recent past, Vrinda, I think you've had to really work quite hard at kind of, if I say menial, it doesn't mean there's no shame or anything with that. But you've had to work at kind of low level jobs and low level input for a while. Now that isn't anything to do with you. That isn't anything to do with like a lack of education or shaming or anything else. You've just done what you've needed to do to get by. Okay. Now the Knights, the thing about the Knights is that it's that teenage energy, and it can be quite a rebellious energy. So it's saying that basically in the recent past, you've really had to do what you needed to do to get by. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that there's been a career path or there's been this long ongoing sort of career progression happening. You've just had to kind of do what you needed to do. And it's stuff that you maybe didn't want to do, but you've had to just keep ticking over. And that is something which, in being in that position for a long period of time, is going to affect mental health, is going to affect how you see yourself, regardless of anything medical happening, because you're constantly working. Do you know what I mean? You're constantly having to keep going without any respite, without that luxury of saying, I'm just going to chill out for a week now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of quite a stressful time. What we've also got here is the Page of Cups. So again, I don't know how old you are. Obviously, I'm assuming you're over 18 because you've got to be to get a reading. But the Page of Cups is your emotions. Now, this is coming up in the present. And again, it's like, because this has been an ongoing, constant, unending work, you've had to kind of, the emotionally, it's really keeping you under, almost, I want to say. Now this is the Page is an interesting card because normally it talks about naivety and youth and that real innocence of youth. Okay, so there is a really strong element here about not getting your fingers burnt or having your fingers burnt for the very first time. So emotionally, I think you've not grown as much as you could emotionally because you've kind of been stunted physically with the workload. So it's almost like you've worked so hard, you've not been able to enjoy friends and partners and all of that. Now, coming up in the present, it means that, you know, and again, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing necessarily wrong with being kind of a little bit naive and not having those edges rounded off yet, because it just means that you've still got that childlike innocence coming through. Now, emotionally, the thing with that innocence is it can be misused by others. Okay, so be very careful. Again, speak to your GP, please, because it could be very easy for someone unscrupulous to say, oh, how you get through this is by doing XYZ. Do you know what I mean? You could be easily led down a path because you've got that innocence, and I would say quite trusting nature, because again, you can see this child has drawn like happy people with a rainbow, happy flowers saying I love you. The other child here is still drawing. There's a happy hair, which is a symbol for fertility. So again, in this case, the hair being here isn't about the child reproducing, obviously, but it's about it's almost like this is a parental image looking out for that child, if that makes sense. You've got the sprite here and you've got the dragonfly as well, but the hair is always about that. For me, it always connects with the moon and the story of the hare in the moon. So there is always going to be that element of connection on a spiritual level, as well as it reminding us of, you know, what bunnies do in springtime, basically. So just bear that in mind, right? That sometimes people that you think, or people that make out that they've got your best interest, don't, and they might have ulterior motives. And then we've got coming up here as your future card, we have the sun. Now, this is what the standard sun looks like. Okay, it's the standard sun is often linked in with childhood and growth. This is also linked in with growth, because you can see here we've got the butterfly, which is the universal sign for transformation, and just see the brightness and the life and vitality that this person has. This sun is shining brightly, okay, and this is coming up in your future. So I honestly feel that there is a brighter tomorrow. That sounds so cliched, but I do feel there is a brighter time coming for you, a happier time, a time of emotional growth and spiritual growth and all of that, because orange is quite often depicted as a very, very spiritual color in a lot of traditions. So again, we've got this sun energy here. We've got the sprite coming in, reminding us of things that we can't necessarily see and feel. We've got the pigeon and the butterfly, which is flight, again bringing in that element of growth and bringing in that element of sort of lightness and airiness. So I do honestly feel that there is a better future for you coming. You've just got to get to that point, my darling. And again, my advice would be speak to the medical team, speak to your GPs, and get help as to how you can unlock that sun to come. Okay, and with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your question, and I am going to move on. So thank you very much, and I hope that helps. Please, Rinda, do speak to the GPs and the doctors and everything, get some advice, and once you've done that, please come back and let us know in the next. We're here every Tuesday and Sunday, so come back and let us know how things go for you from there. Right now, then, over to a super chat. So Sudeshni donating 14 ZAR. I'm not sure what that is, but thank you very much for your donation. Your question is, is love coming towards you this year or next? We'll have a look at that for you now. So then, Wispy, Sudeshni wants to know, is love coming towards them this year or next? I'm sticking with this deck for now. This is such a lovely, bright, colorful deck. I do really genuinely love it. For those that don't know, this is the Poppy Palin Everyday Enchantment deck, and it is a lovely, 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 bloody lovely deck. Very modern, very reminds me so much of living in Bradford. Very multicultural, very everyday life. You see, you know, some of these cards depict people. It depicts life as it is for a lot of people around the world. Not necessarily, you know, all sunshine and flowers. Hardships and realities of life as we see it. Right then, so my darling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 4 card. Now, Wispy, Wispy, my darling, what we're going to do is a 4-card reading, okay? So we're going to do a past, present, future, and then we're going to look at longer term future, because generally with a past, present, future, I only see a little bit into the future. Okay, this deck is very good at giving me a wider and a further insight. So I'm going to pull a 4th card for you, my darling, and see whether that gives us a little bit more information. So then we've got in the past the 3 of Blades. I love this deck so much. I'll explain why I'm saying that in a second. The 9 of Blades coming up reversed in the present. The 7 of Wands coming up reversed in the near future, and the longer term we're just going to pop there just for now, and we'll see what the pattern is. So then, why am I talking about loving this card, the 3 of Blades? Look at it. It's a emotional card. This card in other decks is called the 3 of Swords, and you can see here right in the center of the card you've got this pin cushion with the 3 pins in, and it's in the shape of a heart. This is the traditional tarot image for the traditional 3 of Swords. Okay, so this is talking about heartbreak, and this is the heartbreak card. I love the fact that this person's crying her makeup off. You know, she's got the cat wanting to get the magpie in the background. The sprite is on the machine just watching, and you can see this in the background. Was this her lover? Was this, you know, did this person leave her? Did this person pass? What is the story behind this card? It's a big old question mark. There's also there is also 3 blades. You've got the blade on the edge of the machine, this pair of like what's it called, thread scissors, and then the serrated scissors here as well. So you've got those 3 blades from the 3 of Blades. Now this card, as I say, is all about heartache. So in the past position to Destiny, it suggests that you've had a relationship that was really bad or ended really badly and was a bit of a heartbreak, was a card that left you weeping and crying and left you bereft. Now obviously this is a situation that you can't be in super long term, because nobody can stay like this for a long period of time. You've got to be able to move forward in life. So I think that whatever the relationship, however it ended, it was crushing, but I do think you've been able to move a little bit forward, because we've got the 9 of Blades. So again, Swords, Blades is the challenge suit. So this just feels, you can see here, this is in the present position. I do think it's feeling a bit overwhelming again at the moment for you, my darling. We've got the alarm clock here. We've got sleeping pills, because this person is not sleeping. Okay, they're in bed. They've got their cat, dog, pug. I'm not quite sure what that would be, but they've got their pet there who is looking at them. They've got these tattoos of these barbed wires and this necklace, and it all feels like it's overwhelming, right? But this is reversed, which means as tough as this heartbreak was and as overwhelming as this heartbreak was, you have managed to start getting through it. You started to put it behind you and find a way of moving on. Sure, it might not be the most wonderful situation right now. You might not be jumping up and down and smelling the roses and, you know, joy, 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 but you are moving forward. You're moving away from this heartbreak. And so as overwhelming and as nightmarish and as not sleeping as it was, you have actually moved forward. Now into the sort of what's to come, we've got the 7 of Wands. Now this is not a romance suit, as you can see. Wands for me is all about security. Okay, so you've got your security. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We've got the 7 police officers here with their batons drawn. Okay, and again, this is an interesting card, because you can take this one of 2 ways. Okay, and it has come up reverse, so I'll explain that in just a second. This is either you being the police officers standing up for what you know is the legal right, standing up for what is right, standing up for what is the correct way, even though it's an unpopular decision, even though other people here are wanting to take the law into their own hands to take on a more universal law. Okay, so in other words, they're looking at protecting the forest. So you've got this sort of contradiction going on where there's part of you, because this is reversed, part of you is wanting to kind of take the moral high ground, I think, and part of you is trying to take the trying to take the legal ground, and there's a conflict here between the two because of that reversal. Now, ones is all about security, and for me, sevens are about something ultimately is missing. There is a connection that is missing here. So there is something here that you need to work on and either rebuild or reconnect these two sides to be able to bring that new love energy coming in, because so far there's nothing here about external love energy. This is all talking about you connecting more with yourself, if you like, to be able to move forward. And then we have another obstacle. So there is definitely an obstacle here, and the obstacle is coming up as the Queen of Blades. So longer term, there is something here you need to work out. Now, again, I don't know your gender or the gender of the person that you were, that this relationship is about, but the Queen of Blades, the Queen of Swords, is all about, in this case, dissecting, getting to the bottom of it, getting right through the nitty gritty, looking in infinite detail, really picking apart the detail of the challenge here. Okay, so this relationship, whatever happened here, it's about picking through the remains, finding out kind of what happened and moving forward with that information. But this is reversed. Okay, so there is a warning involved in this question, Sadeshni, because the warning is saying, look, you can sit here forever, right, and pick over this. You can sit forever looking back last year, the year before, what happened this year, what happened then, what happened with this, how we got to that point, blah, blah, blah. You can look at all of that. And all it's going to do is keep you in this position, right? You're not going to move forward. This challenge, you're not going to find a way to move beyond it. You are literally going to sit here for weeks and months and years to come, picking over this relationship in the past. And so this is absolutely screaming out at you, my darling. And what it's saying is, do you want to be a doctor with all of these degrees, or you can't see them, like with these degrees and diplomas? Do you want to be a doctor of this fucked up relationship? Do you want to have studied it so much that you've got so much information about this fucked up relationship that you can write theses after theses and doctorate? You could just, write books and lecture on what went wrong. Or do you want to move forward? Because at the moment, this feels like unless you connect with these two aspects of yourself in this seven, unless you find this way forward, you're going to be forever picking through the remnants of an old dead relationship, and that ain't going to bring love energy in. So the answer to your question, my darling, is at the moment, no. At the moment, love energy is being blocked because you are too busy going through the anatomy of this old relationship. You are too busy going, right, let's just have a microscope and look at that time we had an argument about this. And do you remember that time when, like, you said this, and when we were having coffee, and then we were having dinner, and then you said that, and then I took it that way, and you took it that way, and then we wrote these notes down in this book, and I've got no, sod it, let it go. As a Disney princess once famously said, let it the fuck go. Okay, she didn't quite put it like that. That's my spin on it, but I hope that helps, Adeshni. I really do. I think, again, this comes up a lot because a lot of people want to know if the love energy is coming in externally. And the thing is, you could have 100 people around you right now, all giving you flowers and chocolates and evenings out, a romantic candlelit, whatever. You could have all of that around you right now. And if you are too busy thinking about what went wrong, you can't accept any of that. So until you get rid of this, that's where you're going to end up. You're not going to have space to let that in. And the way to do it, my darling, is to reconnect these two aspects in the seven. Hope that helps. I really, really, really do. And thank you ever so much for your super chats. And yes, thank you very much for being here. And I hope that helps. Right, let me have a look in the comments. Hang on the live. While I do that, let me swap the cameras. So then, everybody, if you haven't got your question answered just yet, do please go ahead and pop it into the live chat in a second when I announce the next round. Okay, so how does it work on this channel? For those of you just joining us, there are two ways to get a reading. You can opt to put your name in the hat to get a free reading. Oh, thank you, Sadeshni. I've just realized I didn't go through your thingies, did I? It does. Beautiful reading. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. You appreciate it. Thank you. No problem at all. Thank you for donating. Frozen, let it go. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I might be a closet Disney fan a little bit. So yes, if you would like a free reading, how would you get a free reading? You put your question in the live chat in a second, starting with the word question. I will then pick one of those at random and read for that person, and then we'll open up a round and do it all over again. However, if you want to guarantee your reading is next, like Sudeshni just did, and guarantee that maybe we take a little bit more time looking at the questions, then you can send a super chat of any amount, and that will get added onto the super chat list. And I will go through all of the super chats first before we get to the free readings. If nobody super chats, then your reading is put into the hat, if you like, and I will pick one of those at random. Do remember, everybody, that that you do make all your own decisions about your own life. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. And of course, tarot is I forgot what I was saying then. Tarot is for entertainment purposes. And if you're looking for medical, legal, financial, counseling advice, do please ask a professional. I am not a professional in those areas, just a gifted amateur, which makes me smile every time I say it, because it's a quote from an old film. Anyway, go ahead and do all of that. If you'd like a question, we're officially opening a round right now. Pop your question in the live chat or send a super chat at any time, but especially now. Yes, indeed. For some reason, my WhatsApp has stopped working. So, mods, if there's anything I need to know, I will try and get to those as I can. So, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Right then, here we go. I'm scrolling up and down, and we're going with this one. Belinda Jane Harris, hang on a second, let me star it so it goes blue. And what do I need to do? I need to turn that banner off. There we go, my darling. Hang on, now I can't see your comment in the starred list. So, do you know, it's so cool. This new starred list, super chats are automatically starred. I don't have to do anything with them. It's so cool. I love that. Question: who is setting off my smoke alarms in 2 houses you visit, yours and your dad's? Oh, Spooktober question. Belinda, we'll have a look at that for you. Right then, Wispy, we've got a spooky question, Wispy. So Belinda wants to know who is setting off the smoke alarm. I mean, Belinda, first of all, my darling, good evening, welcome back to the channel. But first of all, like, mundane before magical, right? Check your smoke alarm, check the batteries, check that you haven't got an actual fire happening, check that, you know, someone isn't barbecuing next door and the smoke's wafting across through your AC, all of that, right? Check all of that first of all. But Wispy, if all of that is checked, what we want to know is, can we have a little insight? Okay, that's not Wispy. That's not. I know these cards are big, but you have to make it. You have to chuck it. If you want it to be noted, you have to chuck it. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's my poor shuffling with this giant deck. Right. So then, Wispy, who is the one who is setting off the smoke alarm? What is going on? Have we got any insight into who may be doing that? Who keeps making eyes at me? Who? La 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 la. Don't remember what that song is, but anyway, right then, Wispy, let's have a look. So we're going to do 3 cards, Wispy, And these aren't going to be a past, present, future, or anything like that. All three cards are going to try and point at who this might be, okay, or what the energy is that is setting off Belinda's smoke alarm. So all three cards together, we've got 6 of coins, the world card, and the 10, sorry, of wands. Right then, so the 6 of coins. I mean, if you know anybody that's redhead and looks a little sort of a little like Bette Midler, but the 6 of coins is somebody who's quite generous and who is quite wealthy, but is also not afraid of helping out those in need, okay, in this case. So somebody who's quite generous with their wealth, even though they're not stingy with it. They're not a Scrooge McDuck, right? They are helping others. So if there's somebody around you that's passed that was well known for philanthropy, or well known, you know, or even if it was only at Christmas time and was giving very lavish gifts and loved the element of giving rather than receiving, no, don't say anything there. But if there was somebody like that, that's a clue. Next up, we've got the world card. Now, again, the world traditionally is a very different sort of looking card. We've got the portal and this idea of stepping through with this wreath. Now, in this deck, you can see that we've got the aunties, the past generations of older women. So again, another clue coming in, Belinda. There is an older woman here. We've got older women here. And these are the women of the earth. They are knitting the planet together. They are the ones who are forming everything around us. Okay, so the aunties here, this card is depicting the entire world being created in a very loving way, a loving quilt that each of these women are combining their energies for, like Captain Planet. Okay, and you've got the water of life running through here. So a very vibrant, vital card. So again, it's another clue as to who this may be. And then you've got the 10 of wands. So somebody very, very, very secure normally, but somebody who perhaps is overwhelmed in the everyday hustle and bustle of everyday modern life. Okay, so somebody who would prefer to be in this sort of environment, much more homely, much more countrified, somebody who is perhaps more at peace in nature and working with nature, rather than you put them in the big city. It's too much noise, too much hassle, you know, burning the candle at both ends, having to get everything done on time, on demand, you know, drinking coffee at night time to try and keep things going, the phone's always ringing, and stressing. So if there is somebody around you that has passed that has that sort of character, okay, then that could be something, that could be a hint. Okay, now it does say on your question that there are 2 houses involved. So it could be, again, with this idea of there being the multiple women, it could be that there is, you know, grandparent or parental energy coming in, depending on how old you are. I don't know. But that is, these 3 cards seem to be pointing at female energy, very feminine energy, very somebody who's very generous and very giving, but also perhaps the modern hustle and bustle world is a little bit too much for, and somebody who is this deeply interwoven connection with the earth, with nature, with putting things right and keeping things running. So very matriarchal energy there. And I hope that gives you some pointers. I've got no idea myself. Sometimes Wispy gives me like images and things, or sometimes Wispy will give me little hints and clues. I don't know. I do. Okay, just as I'm saying I don't know, right? Again, The word that came in here was aunties, right? The word that came in here was aunties. So I don't know whether your dad had sisters or a sister who's passed, or whether this is literally, because I said matriarchal, whether this is like, I don't know whether it would be your dad's mother, or I don't think it's your mum. I think it's back a generation. I really do think it's back a generation. It's either it's on grandparent level, and it's like dad's sister or dad's auntie, or it's something there. There's something there around aunties. I'm not getting it entirely clearly because I really wasn't going into this. I'm looking at doing something next year with mediumship, but not yet. So I'm purposely trying to keep everything focused on the tarot. But there's definitely something here with auntie energy. And oh, right, okay, come on. Right, so Wispy, take it off now. Thank you very much. So auntie energy that smoked, auntie energy that was always had a fag, either about to light a fag or was always smoking, either a fag in her mouth, literally hanging on a lip, like just hanging on a lip, right? And Christmas meant a lot, family gatherings meant a lot. So absolute matriarchal energy. It's reminding me, what Wispy is giving me is an image of my great grandmother, right? And it isn't my great grandmother, so it's something like that. And my great grandma she did smoke, because everybody smoked back in the day, and she was a battle axe, but she was absolutely the head of the family and absolutely kept everybody together at Christmas time, and family do's and events and things. When she passed, that all changed. But my great grandmother was that type of person. She was very much in this sort of world role, so in this sort of widely connected. My great grandma, like literally the days before the internet, the days before phones, mobiles and anything else, she knew everything about her community. She knew absolutely everything. If there was somebody that had moved in around the corner, she knew everything about them before the truck had even left. Do you know what I mean? She knew who they were, where they'd come from, what their family was, what their background was. She'd nipped around with a casserole, and she'd already got them, they'd already eaten it, and it had all been washed up before the truck's even gone, and she was sat around there having a cup of tea with the missus. Do you know what I mean? It was that sort of closely knit, and everybody that we knew of her friendship group were our aunties. Growing up, I had all these aunties, even though I only had 2 aunts. I had all these aunties, right? And again, that's what this is giving me. So it's somebody in your family that has that connection, right? And the reason she's making the smoke alarms go off is because she was always smoking. And she was always... There's something else. You get a sense of something. There is a sense of something you get. She was, I think on your dad's side, I think this is, because that's why she's coming into your dad's house. And it's so I don't know whether it's your dad's mum or your dad's grandmother, whoever that energy connects with, it's coming in on that side. But she's somebody who knew you, passed when you were preteen, early tween years, so sort of 12, 13 maybe, somebody around that point that passed, and somebody who couldn't work a remote control, couldn't work a VCR, couldn't work a microwave. Literally, this card here, this element of the modern world and the fast-paced modern world was too much. This is somebody who had very traditional sort of values, very traditional ideas. Why replace it if it isn't broken? Let's just keep going with this. Like, the oven's really knackered and old, but it works. So why get a modern oven? Because this old oven, yes, it's more work, but it does the job, and it makes nice cakes. And no matter what you say, that electric fan oven, that does not make cakes the same way that this one does, because this is the old way. Something like that. And I take it back, she wasn't wealthy at all. But what she was generous with what she had, right? So she'd save up for Christmas. And she would save little tiny bits of money here, there, and everywhere for Christmas. And it's almost like, I want to say her only expenditure on herself was the cigarettes, and they're Embassy, white and red. I'm getting Marlboro, but it's not Marlboro. Something. Anyway, I don't know where any of that shit's come from, or if any of that makes sense to you, Belinda, but there you go. Wispy's just dumped on me a whole load of stuff into my memory cortex, and that's what's just spilled out of my mouth hole. So hopefully that makes some sense. Otherwise, I'm just talking gibberish and making up a story, which, you know, at the end of the day, that could well be true. But anyway, hopefully you can take it, because I've got no idea where that's come from. And I've got no idea why he's reminded me of my great grandma, except for the fact that that's how he gives me images of other people's and connections with other people. So there you go. Completely unexpected tonight, my darling. I was not in any way, shape, or form. I have been actively shutting down all of that, because I have been actively saying that next year I am going to get proper training on mediumship and being able to channel all this shit properly. So I have been shutting down purposefully all of that. But anyway, I don't know if that makes any sense, Belinda, to your family. It certainly makes a little bit of sense if it was my smoke alarms going off, but it isn't. So there. So I don't know. Anyway, hope that helps. And thank you for your question. This is where Belinda's in the chat going, got no idea what you're talking about, Lisa. I can't take any of that. Like, no, like dad's side, dad was adopted at birth. Didn't know his family. Nobody in our family's ever smoked. We've never had anybody sound like that. No one's ever done Christmas. I don't know what embassy fags are. Like, they don't even exist. So shut the fuck up. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is. And she's like, no, I don't know what this is. Red and white fags. No, nobody smoked. And if they ever did, they smoked woodbines. I don't even know what woodbines are. There's something from, not Harry Potter, Adrian Mole. That's do you know, it's my only memory of that book, The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, aged 13 3/4, was he used to go and get his neighbor, I think it was, woodbines, and I've never heard of them. And to this day, I could not tell you what a woodbine is, whether it's an actual like cigarette or a cigar or a tobacco. I've got no idea. I just know it was something that he smoked. Anyway, let's have a look at the live. Okay. So the tween energy was wrong, but there's something here about tweens. But Embassy and her brother smoked Marlboro. Well, for what it's worth, you've just got a message. Was she older though when your mum passed? Was she older? Maybe I'm confusing, because Wispy was so adamant on my great grandma. Maybe that's why, because she passed when I was 8, 9, and that's why I was connecting with that sort of energy. I don't know why I was getting Embassy, but Embassy and Marlboro. My brain, I could not decide between the two what fags I was seeing. It's like they're white and red, but in my head, it's like it's shifting between the diagonal one, which I think was Embassy, because I'm sure that's what my mum used to smoke back in the day, and the M image of Marlboro. It could be both, Belinda. It absolutely could be both. It absolutely could be both. Really, really, really could be both. Because I'm getting that generational vibe. but there's definitely, whoever it is, modern technology left them absolutely cold, to the extent where it's like I'm just not. It's like they. It's not that they didn't understand technology, because a lot of people don't. It's that they didn't want it. Do you know what I mean? They didn't feel a need for it. It's not that it wasn't like, oh my God, it's so alien, you can just send messages now. Because I don't understand how any of this works. How the hell am I sitting here in Leeds and I'm able to talk to people across the world? I don't understand how that works. Through a wire. How is that? I don't understand. I don't understand how cameras work. How do you get like an old box camera? It's a box, and you got some special paper, and you put the paper in a thing and you show a light on it, and then all of a sudden there's an image of a person. I can kind of understand that, because it's like the paper's got chemicals on it and the light and stuff, so I can kind of understand that. But then how do you do that digitally? How does that happen electronically? How do, like, no idea. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely something there, Belinda, around your mum or your grandma. Then whichever one, whoever is the fag out the mouth, constantly heavy smoker, always, literally, the fags are there, just there, wherever they are. Fags are there. Fags are always with them. Whoever that is the one that is setting off the smoke alarms, because they're still smoking where they are, and they're not ready to go because there's stuff. Oh, fuck off, Wispy. Right, come on, Wispy, give it to me then. Why are they not going? Someone hasn't been told that they've passed. Right, thank you, Wispy. Somebody, Belinda, doesn't know that your mum's passed, right? So somebody in the wider community, it's like, was it put in the paper? It wasn't put in the paper, is what I'm getting. It wasn't put in the paper. It needs to be put in the paper. It needs, God knows, it needs to be put in the paper, Belinda. It wasn't put in the paper. So that's what I'm getting from Wispy. It needs to be put in the paper. Until it's put in the paper, somebody locally, a friend of your mum, somebody who you would have called an auntie, which is why I'm getting this auntie thing, doesn't know that they've passed, okay? Isn't aware that they've passed, and it needs to be put in the paper. And it can't, they can't, you're going to get more and more smoke alarms and smoke evidence and fag ends and all of this stuff. You're going to get more and more signs because they don't know, and they need to be shot. They should have been told by now. So someone somewhere hasn't been told, and it's somebody who should have been on the first page of the list of people to tell, right? There's somebody somewhere really high up, but who is auntie, that needs to know. Somebody somewhere hasn't been told, and it's slipped through. It's like, oh, well, of course, like I had an auntie. The fuck? Did you hear that? The fuck was that? Wispy, we ain't messing with this shit. The veil's getting thin. I ain't doing this. Wispy, we ain't doing this shit. I ain't having this. No, fuck off. No way, no how. I'd rather not do live streams till November. Thank you very much. We are not doing this. Somebody just whistled at my ear right here. Like a... Don't know who that is, right? But literally, we're just... No. No, I will... I am... I'm freaking the fuck out. I am not going to be channeling for the whole of October, right? That is not on the game plan for this year. This year's game plan is working with the tarot and the oracle and everything else. Don't worry, the camera's moving. That's because I've just moved my feet onto the footstool underneath here, right? That wasn't the spookies, but we are not in any way, shape or form. So somebody is whistling at me, right? Oh, why are you giving me my Uncle Eddie? That doesn't help. My Uncle Belinda does not know my Uncle Eddie. Right. So my Uncle Eddie was born with, was a thalidomide baby. So he had a deformed hand. And And he is somebody who was very working class, very ordinary, persisted with his disability, and he didn't let it stop him. He just carried on. But he was a proper, like, working men's man, like go down the pub, have a pint. If anyone started with him, he'd use his hand and deck him. You know what I mean? He was just that sort of bloke, a bloke's blokey bloke. And for some reason, the minute I'm saying who's not been forgotten is when I got that whistle, and instantly my brain went, that sounds like Uncle Eddie. My Uncle Eddie's been dead for a long time, so I don't know why they are giving me this now, right? I am not about to channel and sit here and channel. That is not what we do here now, right? Wispy, listen, this is not what we're doing. If I need to go and get the big bell from the bedroom and clear you, then I will. But whoever hasn't been told, it's like there's an, oh, right, okay. So the auntie is a widow. The uncle has passed. So there is an auntie who you knew as auntie and uncle, blah, blah, blah. The uncle has passed, and the uncle was somebody who would holler people all the time with a whistle, like all the bloody time. All the time. That's how they'd get your attention. And one of those, like, again, quite working class, like down to earth, working man, back in the day when that meant something. Not that it doesn't today, but you know what I mean. And the sort of guy who would whistle at a waitress, whistle to get the bill, whoever that is, he's dead. It's his wife or somebody connected to that one that your mum is trying to tell you that they don't know. And it's also somebody who smoked all the time. So there you go. There you go, Belinda. There you go. Someone you have forgotten. And no, we're not doing that, Seti. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. It's somebody you've forgotten to tell. And that's why I'm getting this blanket of aunties. And that's why the blanket of aunties came up. And that's why I'm getting my great grandmother, because that makes me think of the women that were 2 doors down that we called aunties that weren't. They were just neighbors. Anyway, whoever it is, the Uncle Eddie in the family, in your family, is dead. And it's his wife, who you called auntie when you were growing up, but who wasn't an auntie. So there you go. Go and track that person down. Oh my gosh. Right, Wispy, thank you now. Thank you, goodbye. Thank you. Let's not do any more of channeling shit, please, until next year when I've got the training. God. See, this time of year, right? Let's be brutally honest. This time of year, when the veil thins, this is like, for those of you that have been here a lot, right, you will see this happen from time to time. Sometimes the images come in, Wispy just shows it. It's like, nope, we've got a thing. This is a message that needs to be passed, right? That's what sometimes happens. I can't control that. Sometimes it just happens. Some weeks it doesn't. What I am trying to do is get some training to train that, to literally work on it, so that when it comes through, it's in a controlled format and I can shut it down. And so recently I've been very good at shutting things down. Nope, not going there. We're not doing that. When the veil is thinning, I am not about to sit here every week and channel stuff like that, because it gets exhausting. So thank you very much for your question, Belinda. I hope that helps. I don't know who this is, but yes, whoever it is, somebody, it should have been put in the paper. It should have been in the paper. They can only read it in the paper. Gosh, shall we get on with another tarot reading while I stop freaking out? It's fun here, isn't it? It's fun here. Watching me develop into Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost. Yeah, I no, we're not doing this. We're not doing it in spooky season. I refuse. Right then, let's have another round. So if you would like a question, please do go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. If you would like for free, I will then grab one of those free readings at random. If you want to guarantee that your question is read next, you can do so by sending a super chat of any amount, including your question. Those super chats get highlighted in a very different way. They get sent to me, they are starred, and I see them in a different screen, which I am loving. So any super chat amount will guarantee that. And as always on this channel, any money that is made via the YouTubes or anything else, the donations are made to the 2 bladder cancer charities that helped me out over the last couple of years while I was dealing with the bladder cancer. So thank you ever so much for all of those who do super chat and choose to take that option. If we get more than one person super chatting, then I will do those in order until they're all done, and then I'll open up then I'll do another round with a freebie one. Okay, hopefully that will make sense. Go ahead and put your questions in just about now. Yeah. Right then, let me have a look. Right, so first of all, no, don't end the stream, silly bitch. On the starred one, right, we've got no super chats come in, so then let's have a look on, that's where the questions are. Okie dokie. So I've got my eyes closed and we're going with this one. Nope, that's not even a question, Lisa. Well done. Clicking with this one. Why? You're hearing me click it, right? You're hearing me click the button. I am clicking the button and everything. Right, there we go. Is that a question? It's not a question. Right. This one. Crystal Rose. Question, a general love reading, please. Currently single, thank you. Okay, Crystal Rose, I will do my best for you. Let me have a look. So wispy, no channeling. No. No. What's that tune from? No. Oh, Thong Song. Why have I got Thong Song in my head? Ugh. Welcome to ADHD Brain, when I'm desperately trying to shut down channeling live on a stream. Good Lord. Right. Let's have a look. See. Oh, gosh. There we go. Oh, wispy. Wispy. Right. General love reading for Crystal Rose, wispy. That's what we want to know. Sorry, my friends. Right then, wispy. General love reading for Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose would like to know what love energy is coming their way. So I'll tell you what we'll do, Crystal Rose. We will do the where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. The opportunity. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. It's because I'm desperately trying to play down the fact that we've just been channeling. Wispy, you old sod, making me do that. I know, right? I know. It's all good. Belinda needed the answer. She's going to wake up tomorrow morning or like 4 o'clock in the morning and go, oh my God, we didn't tell Auntie Megan, Pat, Michael, Margaret, whatever. No, hang on. Oh, it's hard to make these drop. Come on, cards. You are going at the top. Okay. Well, that's just one card off, so that doesn't work. Come on, cards. Come on, Wispy. We're going to do one drop. Otherwise, I'm just going to take the top cards. Come on, you've done it all night. Okay. You want a high drop. So we're going to do a high drop then. Okay. That's very strange. Very strange, Crystal Rose. Very strange. Right then. So where you are in terms of love. The 8 of coins. I mean, you're working too hard. You're working too hard. There's no energy. There's no space. So the 8 of coins or the 8 of pentacles is literally burning the candle at both ends. You've got the you've got the energy where you need to make space for that love energy to come in again, right? Because at the moment, work. What is it? All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Is that the quote? I think that's the quote. So yeah. So this is the all work and no play card, basically. Yes, it's great. You're learning and you're learning an apprenticeship, and you've got this person here. Like, one's the apprentice, one's the teacher, but you're working too hard. So that's where you are right now. What you need to know. Oh, also the coins, the 10 of coins. So then what you need to know is, like, again, money is not everything. Money is not everything. Stop focusing hard on the money, because that is blocking your love energy. Finance energy and love energy are not necessarily mutually incompatible, but the more I'm learning, the more they seem to be. If you take lots and lots of your energy and you plow it into work and career and finances, that is going to stop things. That is absolutely going to cause a blockage, and that is coming up in your what you need to know. It's reversed. So all of the joys of the 10, having this overflowing wealth, having this ability to, you know, be generous and have all these lovely times, it isn't enough, and it will never be enough. It will, if greed or the pursuit of money is the be all and end all, it will never be enough. There will never be enough money for you to feel that you can now take the foot off the accelerator and you've got the lifestyle that you want. Okay, so romantically, there is nothing here, because the focus is in the wrong place, right? And whilst you're focusing on material things, you can't focus on the spiritual or the emotional. It's basically what the cards are saying. And there was another one. You saw me, right? So look, fourth card is also a coin. I mean, you saw me shuffle these, right? These are not, you can see, right? They are not, this has not been done as a spook. But then you've got the Page of Cups coming up, the opportunity. Sorry, Page of Coins. The page is youthful energy, right? And starting with small jobs. So starting over with small ways to grow and doing things in a very innocent and a very doing things for a wider community, right? Yes, it's reverse, so you're not going to want to do that, but the opportunity for you to find love would be to volunteer somewhere. Do something at an animal center, at an animal shelter. Do something where finances aren't the key reason for you being there, Crystal Rose. Do something that allows your philanthropic, your community, your charity side to come through. Do something along those lines to bring that love energy back in, rather than focusing on the money, because at the moment, this is your blockage. This is stopping you. So there's no love energy able to get through, because it's all about money, 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 money. You just made the list. That isn't what I was trying to play. What was I trying to play? Hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. There you go. Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Dollar, 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 dollar. While it's all about the money, you can't bring in that love energy, Crystal Rose. And the advice is literally do something charitable, philanthropic, that isn't going to be focused on the coin, if that makes sense. And there you go. I hope that helps, my darling. No love energy coming in on the cards in the immediate future, because it feels like you are blocking that at the moment. So if you're not currently working, it means you're spending all your time looking for work. And then again, it's a case or for the career plans and things like that. So it is then talking about, obviously at the moment, if you aren't working, you need to get money to survive. So finances and everything else becomes the priority. So until you get that sorted, that isn't going to bring in that love energy, because you need to get food on your table. Does that make sense? You need to get your roof over your head and all of that stuff. So whilst that's happening, keep doing that, if that makes sense, right? But that is going to block the love energy coming in, because you need to get those priorities fixed. That third card, the Page of Coins, absolutely 100%. Do some charitable work. Do something around either with animals or in that sort of way. Volunteer somewhere. That will help bring in maybe paid work, but it will also help bring in romantic energy, because the way the universe works is you get out what you put out. If you get back what you put out, so to speak. So if you are if you are putting out, you know, the need for money, then that's going to be the sort of vibe that you're picking up on, and the people you're picking up on. It's not going to be like a love romance sort of connection. So yeah, that, all of that. But that page of coins, definitely that is the way forward in terms of to open up love energy, because you're doing something for the betterment of others at the expense of yourself. And so that is something like, that's a very altruistic way to be. And also then that will give you that loving energy that you start putting out into the world, which means you'll be open to that energy coming back in. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, selling with animals or kids, that's what that card is hinting at, animals or kids. And anyway, thank you very much for your question. Right, let's have another round. Let's have another round. I tell you what, just before we do, talking about work, career and finances, I am actually doing an event in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks yesterday, I am going to be in Lytham St Anne's doing some tarot reading. So if you want to come and see me, this is the little plug. Hi, I'm Lisa from Beyond Authentic Tarot. I'm a liminal witch and tarot reader with over 28 years experience of helping people just like you find guidance through the cards. Now, my way of reading is a little bit different to some other tarot readers. With 28 years of experience behind me, I've learnt my own way with the cards. I often describe the way I read as it's like a reading from your best friend. So a friend might say to you, "Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling down. When you're feeling better, give me a ring and we'll go for coffee." But your best friend would say, "You haven't been out of the house in 3 weeks. Brush your teeth, get in that shower. I'm coming to yours. I'm going to pick you up and we're going for a coffee. And after that, we might even nip off for a cocktail or two." That's the difference. It's always what you need to know, but not necessarily what you want to hear. And if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, I'm going to be at the Roots to Life event on Sunday, the 15th of October at the Delmany Resort in Lytham St Anne's. And hopefully I'll see you there. Oh, I just realized it's a Sunday, not a Saturday. Oh. Excuse me. So maybe I won't be here in 2 weeks' time then. Maybe I'll be back from there. Anyway, go ahead and put your questions in for a reading. It's a good job I just played that. I'd have turned up on the Saturday. I was saying to Rufus as well, going, "Oh, it's Saturday." Bloody hell, Lisa. Right, do go ahead and put your question in the live chat, starting with the word question if you want a reading, or you can send a super chat for any amount whatsoever, and that will get picked up and read first. Go ahead and do those things, and we'll be back to do a reading straight after this.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necro Neil. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the Witcher community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com.
Okay, so then let's have a little look-see. We're going with this one. Ladybug Love. Okay, good evening, Ladybug Love. I think you must be new here. Let me have a look. Why did T run in my room and sit on my bed when he came to visit? No idea. Let's see what the let's see what the cards have to say. Don't forget, everybody, while you are here, do go ahead and bong the bonger. Ding your bell so that YouTube lets you know each and every time I upload a video, especially because we've got interesting videos coming up over the next few weeks. And apparently I have to move a stream in 2 weeks onto the Saturday or onto the Monday. So yeah, we'll see. I'll have to talk to the mods about that. Right then, Wispy, Ladybug Love would like to know, why did T run into their room and sit on the bed when he came to visit? That's what we want to know. Why did T run in the room, sit on the bed when he came to visit? I've got no idea who T is. It could be a lover, a ghost, a child, a dog. Thank you very much to the mods. We've had a card flip. It's the 7 of Cups. I mean, look, Neil, this could have been perfect for our recent podcast all about tattoos and magical tattoos. Look at that. Look at that. They've got a dragon with a tower and a maiden. And then there's something spooky. Oh, look, it's a druid being tatted on there, being inked. Love it. So the 7 of Cups as a modifying card. What does the 7 of Cups talk about? It talks about romance, but something is missing. So there is a journey still yet to go on for you romantically. Okay, Cups. Sorry, I'm hearing voices, and not in a spooky way. My neighbors are shouting at each other. You just love, you know, we've got some of the worst neighbors at the moment that I have ever had, and I live next door to a kebab shop. So, you know, anyway, the 7, I don't now, but I used to. The 7 of Cups. So Cups is all about your emotional suit. Okay, so it's all about the things you love. I like this because it's talking about putting those things that you love on your body, but it's also, if we look, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, we've got your cups here. Now there is something being offered here. The 7 of Cups often is depicted as being gifts and things and difficult choices. So there is a difficult choice here that you have to make. Okay, so there is something here that you really do, a difficult choice that is going to be with you for a long time. Okay, so no idea, but we'll have a look and see. I'm going to cut the deck, and there you go. We'll see what T is doing in your room. Could be anything, couldn't it? T could be anything. Let's have a look. So we've got the 5 of Cups reversed coming up with a lovely doggo. We've got the Ace of Blades coming up with a doggo. And then we've got the Queen of Blades coming up without a doggo, but more surgery things. They're interesting. So the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is often depicting a loss, as you can see. So this is a very emotional loss. We've got the sprite here, or sorry, not the sprite. The crow is here, but the angel here is actually the statue. The sprite would be, where's the sprite in this card? I can't see the sprite. Normally there's a sprite in every one of Poppy's cards. Where's the sprite? We've got the raven. We've got the dog. Oh, it's the ghosty image here. Look, glowing. So this is all about arguably, this is all about loss. Okay, so this is talking about there being 5 cards are still upright, 2 cards are 5 cups are upright, 2 have been knocked over. There is still stuff here. There is still a reason to go on. Things aren't as bad as you're thinking they are. Stop focusing on the negative. But I believe this was reversed. So it's talking about, I don't think this is connecting with YT's in your room, because that makes, I don't know. But anyway, romantically, there is something in the past where you focused on the negatives here, right? You focused on, oh my God, the loss, and you haven't been able to focus on the upturned, on what you've still got. So there is something here that you do have to look at. Okay, so if T is somebody who you've got an emotional connection with, then absolutely 100% stop thinking about the past and focus on where you are at. Focus on the cups that you've still got upright. Okay, if you see, so focus on those cups. Focus on the fact that actually everything isn't as bad as you think it is. There is still hope. There is still chance to move forward. And there is still a connection here that is still valid. It might not be what it was, but there is still a chance to move forward. Only when everything is spilt and everything is gone is everything over. Like, okay, so if that makes sense. There's the sprite there, I think. I haven't got my glasses on. Anyway, so the past is all about moving, trying to realize that things aren't over yet. Things aren't completely destroyed. So if T as a person is coming in your room, if there's a romantic relationship here, then they're hinting at maybe they want to have a long, deep talk about things moving forward, if that makes sense. The Ace of Blades in your present position in the current sort of field, we've got a difficult new start. Okay. So this is obviously surgery, but we're not talking about this being surgery. This is just a very difficult new start. Aces are always about new beginnings, new projects, new ventures. Blades or swords is the trouble and strife suit. So this is the ultimate difficult situation to be starting with. You've got a long surgery with an animal and something that you love, right? So I'm not saying that somebody you love is going to be having surgery, but what I'm saying is that you're entering into a really difficult emotional situation here, which is around T, right? So whoever it is, why they've come in your room is basically there is a new hurdle to cross here in terms of your relationship together. There is a new way of, there is something here that's unspoken, right? If they've come in your room and that's quite a personal thing, isn't it? That's quite a personal thing. Going in, sitting in your bed or sitting on your bed or going into your bedroom, that's a personal space for you. So that's making a very big step into that, if that makes sense, right? That's a very big step into your room. It's a very big step into your personal space. So if they are taking that step, it's because they feel safe enough to, but they are also putting themselves out on a risk. Now, the thing is, if you didn't respond to that, if you didn't say either get out my room or hi, you seem to be in my bedroom, not many people normally get to be in my bedroom, only the people that I invite into my bedroom to do bedroom things with. Therefore, why are you here? That is this new start. Okay, so it's I'm not saying that there's surgery in the pipelines or anything like that. It's literally just saying there is a difficult hurdle for you to get through in terms of your relationship with T. And that difficulty is going to carry on because it goes to the Queen of Blades. Now, the Queen of Blades is she's quite a she's a cold-hearted bitch. But she is quite cold because she's very about the study and the science and, you know, getting those answers. She isn't about the touchy-feely. This is not a GP. This is a surgeon. This is somebody who, this is actually a phlebotomist, somebody who studies blood. Reason I know that is because she's got the blood here, you've got the circulatory system here, and she's got a red ribbon on here. So she's actually somebody who studies, who is depicted as being somebody who studies, you know, looking for a cure for HIV or AIDS. It's that vibe. Okay, so what this is saying is that in the future to come, there's a lot more hurdles to come, and you have to fine tune this relationship with T. You have to fine tune and you have to pick it. You have to ask these questions. Okay, that's what this card is saying. You have to. It's not going to be comfortable because it's why it's a hurdle. It's why it's a blade. But you have to try and work out and have the difficult conversation around what the relationship is, what T wants from you, what you want from them, what's going on, all of the above. Okay, because there is, we're having 2 cup cards and 2 blade cards. There is a romantic connection here, but what that connection feels like, what that connection manifests like, and what that connection means for the two of you, you have to talk about. That's what you have to do. There's no way around it, right? There's no second guessing here. He stepped into your bedroom, sat on your bed. That's a very, very, very big signal. The fact that you didn't pick up on it is a bit of a mistake, personally, I would say, that you have to try and work out and basically go, even to have a conversation and go, you know, the other day when you came in my room, what were you doing? What did you want? What if I'd kissed you? What if I'd chased you out with a, you know, what's it called? A baseball bat, and had gone, rah, get out of my room. What? Get out of my pub. No, get out of my room. Like, what would you have done? That you need to have that conversation with them. Absolutely 100 friggin' lootly, right? And that will give you some answers. There is something here. There's a very difficult choice to be made in terms of relationships. So there is something going on under the surface here about between the two of you. So whether there's a relationship already existing for one of you, whether there's a history here between the two of you, whatever it is, there is something here that you need to get to the bottom of. Otherwise, difficulties lie ahead. Hopefully that helps, my darling. I really, really hope it does. Thank you, Ladybird Love. Again, Ladybug Love, I love your name. I really do. But yeah, thank you very much for your question. Right, let me have a look in the live chat. Holland, you didn't need to do that. But thank you ever so much. Oh, look at that. Holland sent a super chat. Thank you, Holland. You didn't need to do that, my friend. Get out of my swamp. It is a bit like that. Yes, Reese, it is a bit like that, my friend. So, Matt, it is. Get out my swamp. Get in my belly. I can't do that voice. Ow, that really hurt. I shouldn't do that. It's taken me a long time not to use that voice. And it really hurts every time I try and bring it back. Oh, my gosh. Right, we've got 8 minutes. Time for one more reading. If you want to guarantee that yours is the next reading, oh, God. If you want to guarantee that yours is the next reading, go ahead and send a super chat right now. If you want to throw your hat and your question in for the next round and see whether you are picked, you can do so by putting your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of those at random. Again, if you want to guarantee yours is next, do it right now. Send a super chat. That will come through. Percentage goes to charity, all of the above. And that is the last. This will be the last reading tonight. So go ahead and do all the things right now. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh no, that's Holland's message. I was just like, oh, super chat's gone up, starred number's gone up, but no, that was Holland's very kind donation. Thank you. Let's have a look in the live chat. Right then, let me have a look. Let me scroll up and down on my wheelie thing, me jog wheel, and we're going with this one. Oh, what just happened? Okay, we're going with this one. What's this? SETI. Reese, what can the cards tell me about? Oh God, do you know what? Hang on, let me just move that. I can't see because the camera's in the way. What can the cards tell me about Tiamat and her purpose? Do you mean Tiamat the goddess? Is that the right thing I'm thinking of? Do you mean? Okay, well, we'll ask the cards, Reese. Hang on, let me take the banner off. Do you know what? I need to find a way. I thought I was being dead clever by having the camera here and keeping on this position, this camera angle. But I can't actually read. It blocks my screen now, so I'm gonna have to work this out again. Right then. So do you mean Tiamat? Was she a Mesopotamian goddess? Was she a Mesopotamian goddess of the sea? Is that who I'm thinking of? sort of like a female Poseidon-y type personage. Right, let me have a look. So then, Wispy, or in fact, Laguna. Sorry, because I tried to do that Shrek voice, my throat's hurting me now. Wispy, Sir Matt Reese, Seti the Red Cap is asking the question, what can the cards tell him about Tiamat and her purpose? Now, the only Tiamat I recognize is the... Yes, I think it's Mesopotamian. It might be Aztec, but there is a goddess of the sea, a goddess of the sea, a goddess of... Oh, it's not a pantheon that I follow, so I'm struggling with my memory. But anyway, that's why I tell you what, that's going to be good, isn't it? Because it means that absolutely whatever the cards say is coming from the cards, and absolutely this is where you can guarantee it's not coming from me, because even though I've got a vague idea as to who she is, getting better, not really, but a bit better. Even though I've got a vague idea as to who she is, it might, it's going to be coming from the cards. It's not going to be coming from me, if that makes sense. The same as, this is why sometimes when you read for people that you know, it can be really difficult, because you kind of go, oh, and you know, this means last Wednesday when you went to Super Drugs and you got that med, oh, this means that. It's not. And this is why I like doing it. So I've got a vague idea who Tiamat is, but no idea as to how she connects or what she is or anything else. Patricia just put in the chat, was she the one with the hippo head? I don't know. See, now I'm thinking of the Egyptian pantheon, and that's making me think of Moon Knight from the Marvel series. So I've got no idea. I've got no idea who Tiamat is, but let's have a look. So then, what is Tiamat connecting with you and her purpose? So we're going to do a situation. Oh, bugger. I wish I'd written it down. Oh, on one of the videos, one of the member videos, there's a reading that I ended up doing from one of the decks. I can't remember what deck it was either. And it was a 3-card reading. And I was like, oh, this will be really good to use on the streams. And I've forgotten it. I've forgotten what the 3 cards were. But we'll do the situation. The situation, right, Reese, the situation. Knight of Cups. So there is a loving energy here. A connection here, a loving connection that is very much based on night energy. So that's slightly rebellious teenage first love energy, right? So I don't know whether this is the first. She is a goddess, isn't she? That is her designation. I'll use the term being, right? Because whether she's a goddess, and as such, you're connecting her with a goddess energy, whether you're using her as a sort of ancestral totem, whether you're using her as a, you know, thought form egregore creation, or whether you're using her as a, you know, a deified sort of entity, whatever your connection is, it's with that entity, right? So however you depict her, it doesn't matter my understanding of Tiamat, it's your connection with her that is important, okay? So that connection, we've got the Knight of Cups. So that teenage connection, I'm wondering if she's the first goddess deity, the first entity that you've connected with in a magical connection, okay? I know that a lot of people at the moment connect or seem to be connecting with Hecate. Now that's a deity that I do not connect with, even though she is the, you know, the queen of the witches, blah blah blah, liminal magic, all of the above. I do not work with deities in that form because I don't have that connection, and the way I use my magic doesn't need that connection. Not that it isn't right from my path, if that makes sense. That doesn't mean that it's better or worse than anybody else's who does work with deities. It's just that for me, it's not a connection. But this is a strong connection, and it's a strong, I want to say first time. So I honestly think this is the first time that you've built a strong connection with deity, with entities on that level. And I think it's something that probably takes you by surprise, and probably takes you by, is very much a learning curve for you in what she wants from you and what she wants from that connection, if that makes sense. It's like how with some deities, they've got to be honored in very specific ways, and they've got to be worked with in very specific ways. Other deities, other entities, you can literally go, I want this to happen, thank you very much. And it's about building that connection, and it's about honoring that connection and finding out and having the metaphysical discussion with that entity as to what they need and what you need, if that makes sense. Okay, so the obstacle to connecting deeper with her is the 9 of coins. So this isn't about money, this is about study. So are you over studying with your connection here? Are you trying to be book learned about this, Reese? Are you trying to do things basically by the book? Now what I'm saying about it, I'm going to put the cards just here. I'm going to put your third card here. So what I'm saying, hang on, I'm changing cameras. Mods, if you need to head off. Well, this is going to be the last reading, everybody. So if everybody that isn't Seti the Red Cap needs to head off, then thank you very much for being here tonight. And you're all lovely, and I love you all, and thank you for the donations, thank you for the questions, thank you for being here. Goodbye. But the 9 of coins in this instance is talking about book learning, right? It's talking about study. It's literally somebody looking at the book, and it's coming up in an obstacle position. Now, what this is telling me is that I think you're trying to do things according to scripture, is the wrong word, but according to the books, right? Now, this is something that me and Neil have talked about on the podcast, in that somebody somewhere had to write that book, right? So somebody somewhere that isn't you connected with Tiamat and said, this is what she needs. She needs the blood of a Vestal Virgin in a golden goblet with emeralds around the top. That's what she needs. I don't think it is, right? But that's what she needs as an offering. They decided that. They wrote it down. Other people then said, oh, yes, this must be so because it is so written. That is what she needs. When actually, maybe Tiamat said, do you know what I want? I want a cherry Coke with ice in a plastic beaker. And it just got written down differently. So by following the books, all you're ever going to do, anything on the magical field, and this is the same for anybody looking for a deep spiritual connection, all you're ever going to do by following the books is following somebody else's thingy, right? Following somebody else's impression of a connection. And it's a bit like me trying to explain how my coffee tastes, right? It tastes like coffee. It tastes like a rich coffee. It tastes like a nice whole dark roast blend, but without the bitterness. That's great if you've had coffee that has been blended and is a rich blend. Otherwise, it's just words. So if you've never tasted coffee before, and I'm saying to you, it's a lovely, rich, roasted blend. It hasn't got the sort of burnt top notes. It's got like almost like a fruity top note. It's really tasty. And yet, you know, when I put a syrup in, it gives it this. That's fantastic. But it doesn't actually give you the experience. And it doesn't tell you what coffee tastes like. It tells you what I think coffee tastes like, right? And with magical connections, it's why I hold no issue with saying to people that for me, a green candle is crap, is bullshit for money workings, right? Does not work for me. In 100 years, I could use, sorry, I'm just, I'm getting comfortable for the chat. I could use green candles for 100 years and not get a single extra penny. Because for me, it isn't about money, because it corresponds to the cheapest note in the UK, in our system, which is a £5 note. Gold, however, gold is universal money, right? And I think of pirate treasure and doubloons and gold and dripping gold and shiny gold lights and gold. That for me is money. So when I use healing, I use sometimes pink energy, that loving energy. If it's a emotional healing needs to be taking place, if it's physical healing, it's green, and I use the connection to the earth, to that earth energy, because the green earth energy is forever changing, is universal, is constantly fighting against entropy, because the earth is forever dying and being reborn. That's what the earth does. The trees die, they leave their seeds, they reborn in seeds, they come back up. Some of those persevere and they live for 80 years, and then some dickhead chops them down, or for 400 years, whatever it was, the sycamore, and then they're chopped down, and then do you know what I mean? So there is an ongoing cycle. So for me, green energy connects to that earth energy, that ongoing cycle. And what this card is saying, Reese, I keep wanting to say Matt, I do apologize, but what this card is saying is that the obstacle here is trying to follow other people's connection to Tiamat, right? There's a certain belief that by connecting with the tradition and what everybody else understands Tiamat to be, that you are connecting in with Tiamat energy. What you're actually connecting with is the thought form, the entity, the created energy of all of those individual ideas coming together. Right? So Father Christmas, you've now got an idea of what Father Christmas is. It's a fat man in a red suit with a white beard, white hair, probably a white man, jolly, rosy cheeks, ha, 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 ha. In Victorian times, Father Christmas would have been wearing green. Coca-Cola changed that. So the thought form that's out there altered. It got changed. And because it got changed on public belief, it changes the essence of that person. Terry Pratchett writes about it in the Small Gods books and things. So I'm sure it's Terry Pratchett. Yes, it is. And talks about like the god of rats or death of rats. And so all of this changes depending on how society moves. There's a reason that less and less people are abducted by spirit and demons, and they're now abducted by aliens, because we now live in a technological society where that belief has supplanted the traditional belief of being whisked away by aliens, right? So what this card, sorry everyone, I know I'm ranting, what this card is basically saying is, don't let other people's depiction of Tiamat color your connection. And if she's come to you as a entity, as a deity, or a thought form, as a deification of spirit, whatever you want to believe and whatever your connection with her is, if she's come to you in that way, follow that connection for yourself. Don't let other people say, oh, isn't she the goddess of blah, 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 blah. Discover that for yourself. Discover what she wants. Yes, it's going to be a longer journey, but it's going to be a more spiritual connected journey. And it's going to be something where you and her can work that path and walk that path together. That's what you need to do. It's why I won't work with Hecate at the moment, because there is all this explosion of Hecate thought forms and everything else around at the moment. And so I cannot form a connection with any deity, if you like, because at the moment it's the in thing to do. And so somebody else's, depiction, it's currently all in flux. Do you know what I mean? So for me at the moment, I don't want to make that connection because it's not there. So I've got the connection with the entities that I work with And sometimes those entities appear as dragons. I use the term dragon as a short form, as a, what's it called? There's a word. As a brain fart. Shorthand. There we go. I use that as shorthand, right? But sometimes they're crows. It's the same elemental energy. It just shifts in my perception for depending on how it needs to be. The third card that's come up is the 6 of coins reversed. Okay, so this would be the opportunity. 6 of coins, you heard me talk about earlier. 6 of coins is about being generous and giving, right? This is not the time to do that. This reversal is not talking about that. How the opportunity that is here is to be receptive, right? The opportunity is to be receptive. The opportunity is to learn. The opportunity is to write your own books, write your own path with her, right? I can't sit here and tell you what that connection needs to be. You have to work that out, right? The mods, I'm sure, have put comments in the chat. I don't know if anybody's still here, but I'm sure the mods have put comments in the chat talking about who Tiamat is for them, or what they know about Tiamat, or what they know about deity work, right? Which is fantastic. Each one of those mods is sharing their personal experience. Now, some of them might have worked with Tiamat in the past. Some of them haven't. Some might have never heard of her. Some might have a really deep connection, but that's on them for their connection, right? What if you are lucky enough, honored enough to have a deity, an energy, an entity make contact with you, then it is for you to walk that path. Do you know what I mean? It's for you to make that connection and to discover what she wants from you and to discover what you can do for her. And I love the question, because what the question does is it makes me go, there is no adequate answer, because I can tell you what the cards are giving me to talk about, and it so happens that the cards are giving me very specific, look, go off and have a look, go off and do this yourself. Like, don't look into the books, like have them as background reference if you want for how you see her in your head. But if you see Tiamat as a purple, people need to know, but if you see her as like a purple clad figure with eagle wings, a horse's head, and you know, what is it, like the Sphinx's breasts, if that's how you see Tiamat in your head, and she is saying that she is Tiamat and she is coming through, and that's verifiable and repeatable to you as an experience, then go with that. That is the fundamental thing. And also, I want to point out, I know I'm ranting, but I want to point out that it's very rare for people to have deity forms come to them to work with them. It's normally the other way around. So if you've got that experience, go with it. Listen to that experience. Really, really deeply listen and make that connection right for you. And if you then find a book that was written 500 years ago or 5 years ago or 5 months ago, and that book completely contradicts your understanding of Tiamat for you, it doesn't matter, because your understanding of Tiamat for you is your understanding for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And that again, once again, I do not hold the memory of the cards once I've done the reading, but that initial card, that initial obstacle card, the center card where it was talking about the books, that is what that is saying. Okay, so that would be my advice. That's what the cards are absolutely screaming at. And it's really interesting that there wasn't, I was half in the nine of coins. I was half expecting, to be honest, right, for the cards to come up and say, I was half expecting. So when your question popped up, first of all, random, I grabbed it random. Secondly, as soon as I read it, I was thinking in the back of my head, these are all going to be black border cards because that's the major arcana. And they're all going to be, this is who the goddess is, this is what Matt, this is what Reese needs to do, this is what the message is, blah, blah, blah. And that wasn't the case at all. And I'm really glad that it wasn't, because had those major cards come up, it would have been a case of this is what she wants, this is me telling you an interpretation through the lens of the cards, through the lens of the dragons, through Wispy, through the Akashic records, through this, that, so many layers, if that makes sense. Whereas actually the message is for you to discover it yourself. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Let me have a look in the live chat. I bet the mods have, if you're still here, mods, thank you very much. But I bet you've commented on the doodah. Let's have a look. Wow. God, hang on. How far back does this go? Necroneil, your friend works with Tiamat. You'll ask her for any good resources about her for you. Is that the friend that you and I kind of share? Because the more I'm learning about that friend, the more I am loving her vibe. You've got a figurine called Tiamat in your Egyptian collection. Again, the only name I know, when you said the hippo-headed woman, that makes me think of the Egyptian pantheon as seen in the Marvel thing, but I don't know if that's Tiamat. And the only thing that comes up when I read the name Tiamat is Mesopotamian female Poseidon. Don't know. Oh, thank you. There isn't much on her written in sources, just her being a first being, creating the gods, creating an army of monsters and dragons to fight over her lover's death, then being slain. Wow. Absolutely no idea. Absolutely no idea. It's the first time I've read that. That's interesting. Maybe this is a book you need to write. Maybe this is absolutely what the universe is saying to you. Write the book. You were thinking of the hippo-headed goddess, the protector of women in childbirth. That's from the Egyptian pantheon, so it could be. Thank you, Ed, as well. Neil, working with any deity should be instinctual. Absolutely, yes. It should be a personal bond, yes. Where you learn about each other. I have had to do this with a lot of lesser known entities. It makes it more meaningful. Absolutely. I've had to discover the dragons, literally discover the dragons as we've gone along, and what they are and who they are and how they connect and all of that. Your Sims are waiting for you, but they're just pixels. Oh, but think of the poor Sims. But thank you. Yeah, this is the last one for today. Cup of tea with $3. Good evening. We're just finishing up, as Holly just said there. You more asked because of your dragons. Was curious what they would reveal about her since she's the dragon. Is she? I don't know. So my dragons are thought form entities. I call them dragons because that's the way that Rocky, as we call him, thank you, Rocky, first appeared. It's not their true essence. They aren't dragons in the historical, theoretical, theological sense. They are and they're not. They take on that form because it's the easiest way for my poor, stupid, mortal human brain to understand their energies. So they connect with elemental energies. They are, in essence, the embodiment of elemental energies filtered through a servitor egregore. Again, I can't remember which term was the correct one to use, but they are effectively filtered through that in ways that I can use those energies. So that's what they are. They're not actually kind of connecting to the theological entities that are dragons. But it makes sense. It does make sense. Yes, there you are. You see, Patricia's got a deity as the lady. That's something that is unique to Patricia and her way of doing things. Ed's never heard of Tiamat. Your guide comes and goes as he pleases. You've never seen his face. Absolutely. Good evening to Bella. New sub. Hello, my darling. We're not doing any more questions, my darling. You're not very good at remembering all the deities. You're a pantheist. A pantheist. Yeah, got it. Personally, so that makes it easier on the ADHD brain. I don't worry, Bella. It's just Nightbot. Nightbot has got a thing about emojis. The pantheist. See, that's an approach very similar to what I would call eclecticism, which is literally kind of picking and choosing. And for me, that if you're going to work with any deity, that kind of makes most sense, because we don't live in a pantheistic society. So we don't live in a society, or for those of us in the UK and in the Western world, we don't live in a pantheistic society. There are still pantheistic societies around, the Sikhs and others that have multiple gods and multiple entities within those pantheons. So it's very interesting how somebody who follows that path or that faith can have those different entities and those different relationships with different deity forms. I, as an eclectic, would, if I had to work with deity forms, I guess, well, I don't think I would. I don't think I would, because for me, the universal energy, I guess, the universal energy itself, as my brain perceives it, is literally the universe of the energy of the universe, multiverse included. That energy, that essence, is its rawest form, not its truest form, but its rawest form. And somehow we need to filter that through beliefs and pantheons and religious structure to be able to connect with it on a level. I use the elementals, which is, for me, again, comes back to my dragons. That's the entity form that I use to connect with that universal energy. Other people will use, the personification of deity and that idealistic personification, and people will use that to have an image in their mind that they connect to. Does that make sense? So again, it's all about similar to what we were talking about. God, today's been a really deep philosophical, psychological day, because it goes back similarly to the understanding of neuroplasticity and the way that the human brain works, that we were talking about on the members stream, because it literally, I think that it is beyond our puny human brains to fully comprehend the magnitude of that energy. So we have to find a way to... Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry. Did I say pantheist? I meant polytheist. No, it's the other way around. This is what I was trying to say, is that I don't connect with god forms from different pantheons, because they're all connected to the one, and the one isn't a one as we think of it. It's just everything. Does that make sense? I guess I'm really struggling to try and make sense of it. But again, if we could make sense of it really easily on a live stream after 2.5 hours, after another hour previous to this, and then putting my face on and everything else that I've done while sat in this chair, then, I'd be writing a book and I'd be a billionaire, or I'd be creating a new religion, Scientology, anyone. But anyway, thank you very much, Reese, for the question. I guess the answer is you have to do it on your own, in your own way, at your own time, and what feels right for her, in trial and error. So yeah, but thank you for the question, because we've just gone on a really weird tangent. But yeah, thank you very much. Ed's called John. They are polytheism. So from my understanding, it's basically, so the way that I've always understood pantheons is that each ... call it a religion, call it a faith, call it a practice, creates their own archetypes, right? Jungian archetypes. So the Jungian psychology, which is what I studied, it's where my basis comes from. That's from a Jungian archetypal perspective, all faiths, religions, cultures have created those archetypes that work for them, and they're each subtly different. So as one culture supplants another, thank you, Anya, as one culture supplants another, you get the modification of pantheons and understanding as we advance in science, as we advance in psychology, as we advance in all these different areas. So it's why the Greeks and the Romans have such a similar pantheon, is because it's not because they developed synchronicity. They didn't develop separately at the same time in the same path. One came in and supplanted the other. And so you have this, and it's the same thing with Christianity. Christianity supplanted the indigenous people's faith, and it did it in a way by moving events, changing calendars to make it more of an appeasement for the locals. And as that developed, it then settled into what we now understand of it. So therefore, each pantheon is dependent on the culture that the pantheon came from. Each god form is dependent on the pantheon on the culture that created that pantheon and the lens that saw it through at the time of its creation. Because again, it doesn't help us. It's kind of why I can understand chaos magic. It's kind of why I can understand chaos magic. Okay, and the idea that we discussed on the podcast with Neil, talking about pop culture, a pantheon about pop culture, and having like a DC universe pantheon, I can completely accept that. That makes as much sense as the Roman gods. That makes as much sense as the Mesopotamian, the ancient Aztecs, the whatever, whenever. It makes as much sense, right? Especially when we live in a world of mass media and mass consumption. There is an argument, wow, we're really having theosophical and philosophical debates, because you've also got this idea that with mass market films and the mass understanding and exposure to certain like the films, like the Marvel universe, because that is shared by so many millions of people, those archetypes now exist. So whilst they may not be worshipped as gods, if you think of Thor, no longer we understand Thor as a Marvel character, but we now understand the god Thor as a Marvel character. But we have a deeper understanding with the god Thor. And through that, there is a connection to the Vikings and the runic and all of the above. And I could see very easily a religion being created around the Marvel universe, because you've got those same archetypes. Okay. And as each culture's created its archetypes and its version for the time that it was done, for the people that it was done for the needs of the political system and the needs of the belief system for the indigenous peoples at the time, as each one of those happened and as each one of those was created, it kind of makes sense that the cultural equivalent these days would be Marvel movies and DC movies and pantheons. And so from a chaos magic perspective, I can completely get and 100% get behind that. If you want, I think Neil was talking about a justice personification of justice, or a justice deity, and using Batman, that's fan-bloody-tastic. That's fan-bloody-tastic. Because Batman in the DCU, or Batman in the DC world, the DC universe, not just the films, Batman is the last result. Is like, there are things that he has to get rid of all of the other Justice League, to get rid of all of the other heroes, to kill them all off if they go bad, including him. He is like the final step. So I completely get all of that. And I've realized as I was saying that sentence that my brain ran out of energy and I need to go now. But thank you very much for being here, everyone. A half hour, 40-minute chat. You see this, Patricia, this, I love it. Your lady has had many names and forms, but to me, she's simply the lady. I love it, love it, love it, love it, because it's that thing that she'll appear to you in many forms and many different ways as you need her, as the time is right throughout your life. So bloody good. Was it the first podcast? Oh my God. Oh my God. We probably need to redo that because it's fascinating. But yeah, I don't know what is wrong with me today. I am on some other, this veil thinning. As soon as we've hit October, it's like, right, come out all these ideas in my brain. Let's do everything. Let's change. But for tonight, that is going to be all, because it is 9:30. Oh my Lord, 9:30. Which Lord? I know, it could be any of them. It could be Lord Krishna. It could be Lord of the Rings. It could be Lord's Hill. Also, I've got to say, by the way, when I'm editing, right, this is a really comfy place to sit and rest my neck when I'm faffing around on StreamYard. So yeah, if you see this microphone, if it ever looks makeup-y, that's why. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Ed, speak to the... Oh no, I saw your message about 111. That's fantastic. I'm glad that it helped. Lord of the Flies, good film. Scary book, good film. What was I saying? Oh yeah, good night. That's going to be it, everyone. Thank you for joining. I've really enjoyed tonight. I don't know why, but I have. You're all a bunch of wonderful people, and you all engage my brain in ways that makes my brain, which is good. So thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you on Tuesday, where we won't be talking about deity, thought forms, egregores, pantheons. We'll just be doing some tarot and oracle readings. So yes, stay tuned. By the way, tomorrow, I didn't do the giveaway announcement thing. I'll have to film it. I'll film that as well. Tomorrow at ... whatever time the YouTube algorithm says most people are on the YouTube for my channel, which is not just on the lives, but tomorrow evening, the first of the Spooktober deck review videos is going up. It will be in the evening, so make sure, if you haven't already, make sure your bell is donged for that. I'm loving that I finally got to do a series and it's actually all already up and everything's wonderful. So yes, check that out tomorrow. I'll be back on Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time. And as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And I will see you on the next one. Spooktober's here. One day in, and look what we're already at. 9:30. See you all next time. Take care, everyone. Thank you for being here. Love you all. Bye.